Issues Research, INF 7310, Classroom Collections versus School Library Collections, prepared by Jennifer Nicholson and Emily S. Wallce. Our issue, Classroom Collections versus School Libraries, will be examined in this presentation, and we will provide some of the basics, including some background and implications. The major differences between classroom collections and school libraries are accessibility, purpose, audience, and limitations. In our eyes, a classroom collection is created by a teacher and housed in that classroom for those students to utilize. On the other hand, a school library is curated by a certified librarian and is available for the entire student population. Around 2003, changes to the NCA accreditation began a trend in some districts to eliminate the librarian media specialist. With only an aide in the library, classroom teachers began creating their own libraries for student use instead of heading to the school's library. In 2001, monies were pulled from Chicago school libraries and classroom collections were purchased in the hopes of improving reading scores. This angered both teachers and librarians for different reasons. When the scores didn't increase, the funding fizzled, but the libraries were still in trouble. Classroom collections simply cannot replace the school library, yet many school libraries are closed and books have been dispersed into classrooms. When funding is taken away from school libraries and given to classroom collections, it undermines the value and benefits of libraries staffed by certified librarians. Classroom libraries are not a replacement for the school library. They should complement each other in support of authentic literacy experiences. Teachers and librarians have the same goal for learners, and together they can create a powerful collaboration to increase reading for pleasure. Yet the function and development of classroom collections versus school libraries differs due to the specialized training of school librarians. Both school libraries and classroom collections can work together to meet the needs of the students. Librarians should not ignore the requests of classroom teachers to help them with their collections. Librarians are the experts in their field and should be using that to help others. On Judy Morellino's blog, a writer used a clever analogy. Just because you can play and sing doesn't make you a music teacher. Just because you have books in your classroom doesn't make you a librarian. Teachers have been encouraged to bring books into their classroom by reading gurus like Kelly Gallagher and Penny Kittle. These gurus do not believe that these collections replace libraries, but they can support reading achievement. Classroom collections have limitations. All students with that teacher can check out those books. The books are only available during class, and reading levels are usually attached to those books. Students may feel intimidated by their classmates seeing their reading levels. Often, newer books are not added to the collection since funding is usually provided by the teachers themselves. The school librarian ensures that students are successful 21st century learners by providing equal access to resources while supporting reading throughout the school community. Librarians are master curators. Due to a vast knowledge of books, they can help select materials tied to the interests, abilities, and developmental levels of students based on a wide range of criteria. They empower students by promoting diversity and inclusion, ensuring that materials are free from bias and stereotype. School librarians respect intellectual freedom, student First Amendment rights, and privacy. They resist labeling and advocate for the development of district policies regarding leveled reading programs. Librarians select materials for the collection based on highly recommended books from reputable professional sources and invest in engaging and appealing materials that cultivate a high level of user interest. Can classroom collections replace school libraries? Of course not. However, many children have limited access to books at home. Classroom collections have become essential, and for some students, the only place books are available to check out. Well-rounded collections result in more frequent readers. Among 6 to 8-year-olds, 60% of students with a robust classroom library are frequent readers, compared to 51% of kids without one. Overall, the numbers continue to increase regardless of the age group. Teachers who devote time and money to developing classroom libraries are providing incredible and beneficial resources for student achievement. But when school librarians are cut from schools and teachers become solely responsible for providing books for the student community, it becomes problematic. "65% of libraries in Michigan have no library staff. 8% have one certified librarian on staff. This data alludes to a more significant problem that is directly related to how frequently children pick up a book for enjoyment. The number of school librarians in Michigan has declined 73% between 2000 and 2016, far beyond the national decline of 20%. It is well documented that having a certified librarian leads to higher reading scores. It is also why classroom libraries are becoming more mainstream. Michigan itself is ranked 47th in reading scores. The Michigan State Board of Education recognizes that school library media centers provide Michigan students and staff equitable access to print and digital resources critical to supporting 21st century teaching and learning. There was not a great deal of information available on our issue. However, we did find ways that librarians are working in the 21st century. Pop-up libraries are ways that librarians are working with the school community by bringing text to students if students cannot get into the library. Traveling libraries offer opportunities for librarians to put parts of the collection immediately into teachers' classroom, furthering the collaboration between the two reading specialists. Please scan our QR code for an annotated bibliography and links to resources to learn more about this topic.